All right, we are live. I got a lot going on today. We're going to get the Amazon thing going here real quick. Preview and go live on Amazon, and then we will get to opening this box so that we can begin the evaluative process of this microphone system from DJI. This interested me because I'm always on the lookout for microphone stuff that is easy to use and relatively affordable. This is in the $300 range, but it's less expensive than the Sennheiser mic that I use. So I thought it might be worth looking at. And DJI has been doing, I bought these, by the way, with my own funds. DJI has been doing a lot of this kind of product. You know, they have the cameras that are not drones, and now they're getting into audio stuff. So I thought we would take a look at it. Darren Buss is here. Hello there. And who else we got? Richard Maxey. Yep, mic check. Exactly. Brandon Wallace is here. Hello there. Romerick is here. Yeah, so we're going to be doing this kind of quickly today. I'm not going to, skimp on it for the review, of course, but I got to be somewhere at like 3:15, so I've got to be like changing and out the door. It's one of those weeks where I just can't get enough blocks of time that work. Things just keep filling up. So we're going to open this up. Usually I wait for more people to come in, but we got to get moving. So I will keep saying hello to people as they come in. Darren's been looking forward to this one. Romerick thought it was a drone. Yeah, nope, this is just a microphone set. So that's why it surprises people to know that they do this kind of product. And this actually surprised me more than the others, because typically we think of DJI as a drone and a camera company, but they are now getting into audio gear, which is what this is all about. Adam is here. Hello there. BBO TV is here from Puerto Rico. Hello there. And this is kind of like a clip-on mic, is my understanding. And there's two units in the box. So you have two transmitters. Here, I'll give you the view of the box here. So there are two transmitters, and there's one receiver. So you get two mics going in, which is actually, for the price here, not a bad, if the quality holds up, right? It's got a mobile adapter for Lightning for the iPhone. It's got a mobile Type-C adapter. It's got a clip magnet, so you don't have to pin it to yourself. So there's might be a lot of neat industrial design components to this also. So we'll poke through all of it as we do our review. And there is a little dead cat for the mic to block the wind. Just one, though. And we got the instructions. We don't need those. And it looks like a little addendum on the battery. Oh, it's two dead. Yep, there's two of them. So you get two of they call them dead cats. You know what I do with these? I have one for another microphone. And every once in a while, I will hide it somewhere where I know my wife will find it, and she jumps. So that's kind of fun. David Michael Piper is here. Hello there. Crab Donkey wants to know, what frequencies does it use? That is a good question. I am pretty sure this is like 2.4 gigahertz. Let's see. I'm just looking through here. I'm almost certain this is 2.4. So you may have issues when you're out in a busy environment. And they give you some tips on how to get everything hooked up. And I've got a camera here that will hook it up to, this Canon camera here. So I've got XLR, although I don't think this supports XLR. It just has the whatever it is, so we'll have to see how this goes. And then this unit here, wow, this feels pretty nice, actually. So this kind of like charges perhaps like it's like AirPods, kind of, right? It actually feels decently high quality. That display, that's really nice. So it's giving us the battery indicator of all of the units here. And it looks like they're already live and paired up right when I opened it. So I can get 15 hours, and that's only with half a charge. So let's see what we got in here. So this must be the receiver, I think. Yeah, it must be, because it's got a headphone and an audio output. And then it's got a USB-C on there. Oh, it's a touch display too. How about that? And the time is right. Very cool. Oh, it's picking up audio already. Well, that's a nice out-of-the-box experience, right? You don't have to like pair up anything. It just goes. So these are the units. And I just hit a button on one by accident, but it looks like it's okay. So they pair up. And there is a microphone built in at the top of this. And I'm guessing these are omnidirectional mics. So they clip on. And the whole unit is this. This is actually pretty nice. You know, I kind of went into this blind not knowing what I was getting. So this is nice to see. And then it looks as though if you wanted to attach a lavalier, you could do that. So I'll have to see if I have a lavalier kicking around somewhere. That's pretty nice quality. They feel really solid. I just like how everything is integrated. There's no extra stuff to deal with. And then we have a USB adapter. So I guess this, oh, I see, this slides on top of this. So I guess if you're plugging it into a mobile phone, it would go in with that. But I want to try it. Well, that's kind of neat. Okay, so there's a mono. Okay, so let's go mono. Oops, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. The touchscreen is very sensitive. But you have controls right on the front here. That's pretty slick. I'm impressed. That'll do it for today's stream. Yeah, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can get a better view. My camera doesn't like to zoom in too far, but I think this is probably about where I can get it functional. So I guess I have questions, many questions. Not the least of which is, how do I connect it to my camcorder? Now this appears to be, what is this? This looks like a little shoe mount perhaps for this thing. It doesn't quite fit in there. So we have some adapters here. So this is the lightning adapter for the iPhone, and this is a USB-C. So I'm guessing like the target is like an iPhone or an Android phone. And I happen to have an Android phone handy. You know what I could do? Let's try this real quick because we don't have a lot of time. Why don't I plug this into my iPhone? I have the NDI camera that runs on it, and I should be able to get audio from it. So let's try that. So we got to put this, okay, it goes in this way. So I'm going to put this on. And so now I've got that. So I guess I have the cable for this. I have to just get an output cable. So I guess if you want to connect it to your phone manually, that's how you would do it. And I guess the other question is, how do we mount this on top of the camera? Let's see here. I got a lot of questions coming in. Crab Donkey wants to know, what kind of interference do you have to watch for? So my guess on the interference is that you would need to watch out for 2.4 gigahertz if that's what this uses. I don't know for sure what it uses. So I need to check on that. And then it's got a TRS out. So you just do a standard whatever. USB-C charging. But it also charges when it's put in the case here. And then on the transmitter side, same deal. USB is for charging it separately. It's got a 3.5-inch TRS in, so that is an input if you had like a thing. Now this, oh I see, so you can have it stand up. This must be magnetic or something. So there's a little stand here. Oh I see, this clips up. So this would go, so I can get a better view of it here for you. So this stand has the unit kind of stand on its own. That's what this is for. It's a little stand. There's only one of them. Maybe that's for the, no, it's not for the transmitter. Maybe it is. Let's see. Pop this out real quick. It kind of stands well on its own anyhow. I'll play around with that. But I'm going to plug it into my iPhone real quick. All right, so I pop that in. Only supports mono. Okay. All right, so now, so we're not going to hook it up to the camcorder right away. Oh, I see what this is for. So this, oh, that's what, okay, that's exactly what I thought it was for. Okay, so what this thing is for is it goes in like this. So let me pop this out real quick. Sorry for all the confusion here. That's how I roll on this channel. I just kind of poke around with it until I figure it out. So this goes, I'm not sure how long this is going to hold up for, to be honest with you. So that goes in like that. And then you slide this on here. And then you've got it on your camera. And you know what I'm going to do? Let's do that first. Because I have a cable. I did have a cable. Where did I put it? In fact, I recently purchased a cable to do something like this, and it looks like I don't have it right in front of me. Let me go find that cable real quick. So I'm going to connect it to this camera, then I can bring audio in, and I'll clip one of these units to me so we can see how it sounds. I'd love to get your feedback on that. But yeah, the storage box is really nice. And you're right, the pieces will disappear. That seems to be something that might happen. And let me just find this cable real quick, and I will, yeah, here it is. Yeah, I know I bought one of these recently. Now this is TRS, which is your standard microphone input cable. So this is what a TRS cable looks like. TRRS would have additional things on it. Okay, so let us plug in to the, sorry to give you my head here. Let's plug into the, so I have XLR on this one, but we're going to plug it into the mic in on here. I'm going to turn off this one. And then I'm going to connect this cable. This is very elegant, I must say. I kind of like it. I'm going to connect that to there. Okay, so now, let me pull my screen out here. All right, so the question is, which microphone? Okay, they're picking up. Perfect. Okay, so now, it's going to be super loud. So bear with me here. I'm going to see if I can figure out. I got to go on to this camera and adjust its audio down. Typically I have controls, but now that I'm plugged in directly, I got to go through the menu. So let me just go and adjust that real quick. Audio setup. So we're going to do mic attenuation. I'm going to go manual. Oh, that's okay, it's automatic. So where's the, hang on a second, folks. So I think right now it's just like going full blast. And if I turn this back on, obviously that kills it. Yeah, then I get those options. Okay, so what I want to do is turn that off. And I need to set the audio level. So that's what's crazy about this camera, is that one is manual and the other is all right, I'll just turn it down, the other thing. So I don't have that much time. Oh, here we go. Okay, so there's my levels. So let's go to manual. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it down so it's not too loud. Okay, check, 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 check. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn one of them off. This is magnetic on the back of this, by the way. So I'm going to turn this one off. And they vibrate also, by the way. Okay, so now I just have one on. And it's definitely getting audio. So I'm going to clip it to myself here. All right, so now I've got it clipped to me. It's obviously bigger than my normal lavalier, but you have the option to plug in one. I haven't activated it yet. Okay, so now I need to go into my audio settings, and I want to get your opinion as to how this sounds, because I'm not going to be able to hear it because I don't have any anything connected at the moment. But bear with me because I just need to turn down the levels on the camera mic here, and then we'll get this going. So this is deck link 4, and I'm just going to bring it down so it's more in line with my other level. Okay, so I'm going to disable. Okay. Okay, so this is now this mic. And I think it sounds pretty good. I don't know. Let me record a little recording here, and then I'm going to play it back and listen to it and see how it sounds. I'm going to give myself a little bit more boost here because I've got it at about, yeah, I think I'm close to where I want to be. I have it a little bit lower. Maybe I'll go up a little bit higher. Okay, so now, yeah, let me know how it sounds. It looks, you know, obviously if you're a true production professional, you're going to want to go with something a little more robust. But for simplicity, I mean, you saw how this worked. We just took it out of the box. There's a lot of pieces to lose, though. I think that's the, maybe they're banking on you losing pieces. But it's all in this little charging box. It's like AirPods, but microphones. And you got your dead cats here. And it looks like everyone says it sounds good so far. So I'm going to just play back this recording real quick and see how it sounds to me, because I am curious how it sounds. So let me go up to my recording. Is it 210? Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to play this back, and then I will be right back. How it sounds. It looks, you know, obviously if you're a true production professional, you're going to want to go with something a little more robust. But for simplicity, I mean, you saw how this worked. We just took it out of the box. There's a lot of pieces to lose, though. I think that's the, maybe they're banking on you losing pieces. But it's all in this little charging box. It's like AirPods, but microphones. And you got your dead cats here. And it looks like everyone says it sounds good so far. So I'm going to... Okay. Yeah, it sounds okay. I think I have to adjust things a little bit on my end. It doesn't sound as good as my Sennheiser mic, but I guess it shouldn't, right? And Trent says it's got a little more bass than the other mic. Yeah, so it's got a little bit more of that lower end to it. I don't know if it makes me sound better or worse. I'm not sure, but that's what that's where we're at. The gain that we are at currently is, let's see, I'm not sure I can tell you the gain. I'm going to go on the little touch screen here. Receiver gain. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So I'm at 0 dB receiver gain. Oops. The touch screen is super sensitive, in case you're wondering. And there's headphone volume. There's also settings. It's got vibration notifications. You can relink the device. Transmitter gain, which is what, yes. So everything's at 0 gain right now. This is pretty slick, gotta say. It feels very polished, doesn't it? For a microphone system. It's like super, super simple. David says it sounds a bit washed out. Yeah, it seems like everyone is in agreement here that it's a bit bassy. So maybe I should move it lower. Let's see how it sounds. Let me take my other mic off here. So we're just gonna be on this one for now. And you know, there's always like multiple variables when you have one of these microphones that you're trying to tune, because you have, so I'll put it down here, because you have, and it could be more directional, I'm not sure. Because what you end up with when you're playing with this stuff is you've got the camera settings, you've got the receiver settings, the transmitter settings, there's a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, I really do prefer the Sennheiser kit that I use, but the Sennheiser is twice as expensive. And I think, so I've got this cardioid lavalier. I bought this used, and I think I paid as much as the whole kit costs just for the microphone component. And then I paid like $800 for the Sennheiser AVX system that I use. Richard Maxey says, put it through the MD Furrier tool just in case. Yeah, I am not an audio guy, so I actually might be the good test case for this. But yeah, you can clip the mic on. So here's what I like about it. There's two transmitters, and each transmitter has a microphone on it. So I'll give you another look at it here. So I've got one clipped to me right now, and this is the other one, and here's the transmitter. You can clip it to your lapel, if you will, like I am doing now. I got to test the range on it too, so I'll go all over the house and see how it does a little bit later. I got to get moving in a little bit. And then you have another input here. So if you had a lavalier microphone or any other microphone, you can plug the microphone into here and use your own. Which makes me wonder, could I plug in my Sennheiser mic and use that with this? I bet you I could. Let's see. I'm just going to unscrew it here real quick and see if it would fit. So here is my, I don't know if I'm looking for trouble here doing this or not. Let me plug it into this one. And let's see what happens, because I'm looking at my audio levels bouncing here. And now I'm going to take this and plug it in. Yeah, it still works. Let's see. Check, check. Oh, it is. Okay, so now, okay, this is a good test. All right, so we're going to start off with my, my regular mic in here. So this is my Sennheiser mic plugged in to the DJI. And it's definitely a little lower because that's the nature of this mic. I think this mic needs phantom power. Let me boost it up a little bit here a little bit. I think this mic needs phantom power, if I'm not mistaken, but I can boost the audio here a little bit. Let's try that. Okay, check, check. Okay, so there we go. So now we've got this mic. So I'm going to record with my Sennheiser mic. I'm just curious to hear what my Sennheiser sounds like through this. But I just plugged it right in. And yeah, the output cut in half. This mic, I think, needs a little more power. It's a cardioid also. All right, so now I'm going to unplug it. And we're going to, oops, go back. And I'm just going to go down on the audio a little bit here. So I think I'm peaking. This is one of the challenges with mics, is that you really got to get everything adjusted in a bunch of different places, and then how you adjust it really makes a difference here. Okay. Jeff says it sounds like $800. It better. Okay, so now let's put this. Now, do you hear any mic handling? I'm handling the mic right now. Do you hear that handling? Okay, so let's put this back on here. And that's always the difficult thing, because you get used to hearing one mic and then you switch them and then it gets really convoluted. Let me play this back. I'm just curious how this sounds. Okay, so hang on everybody. I'm going to mute this real quick and play back this mic. So I'm going to record with my Sennheiser mic. I'm just curious to hear what my Sennheiser sounds like through this. But I just plugged it right in. And yeah. All right, so now I'm going to unplug it. And we're going to, oops, go back. And then how you adjust it really. So the Sennheiser has just a better range of sound, right? So I think that's the difference. I don't think these are cardioid. So Jeff says the mic sounds better off my chest. So I wonder, because they're kind of indicating that that's the use case. Actually, it looks like in the pictures on the box, they have it on the collar. So she has it on the collar. So maybe that's where you need to put it. So maybe you put it a little bit off center. So let's try that. I'll stick it like, I don't know, put it over here. Now my collar looks awful. They are a little heavy, so they're going to weight down the thing. But Yeah, so I would say that quality-wise, it is going to be better than the smartphone you're plugging it into. I also think that for $300 to get so here's a good equivalent. So I use the Sennheiser AVX system. It is an awesome system. The problem with it is that you only get one mic per receiver. So this does two, and you can get the best of both worlds. You can plug a Sennheiser lavalier into this and get the audio quality. But it looks like the vote out there is that the Sennheiser is the better mic, which is good, because that definitely justifies its cost. So like I said, I bought this mic used, and it cost me a fortune. And this is what this is the transmitter for the Sennheiser. And honestly, like, you cannot go wrong with Sennheiser with anything. And this system in particular, what's great about the AVX system is that it does not work over 2.4 gigahertz. I did a review on it a while back, and I've been using it for the last, I think it's probably about 5 years now I've been using the Sennheiser stuff. I did buy, so my kit came with a lavalier mic, and it did not come with the cardioid mic that I use now. And I've never had a problem with the Sennheiser stuff. Every time I plug it in, it just works. It is remarkable how good it works. Trey wants to know, how would this compare to the Rode Wireless Go? I have not tried that. I haven't really, you know what happens with me is that I find something that works, and after that, I'm done. So for me, when I found the Sennheiser stuff, because the Sennheiser, what's great about it is that I also have a stick mic. So I can go out when I do the CES show, for example, take the stick mic, uses the same receiver, and because it's not on 2.4 gigahertz, I think it's on like 700 or 800 megahertz, it doesn't encounter a lot of interference. So I have yet to have a place where the AVX did not work. Like, it just works everywhere. It's amazing. My tech guy Tim and Frank say it sounds good, and it's slightly under. Yeah, I guess I can move it around and see where the best place is for it. It's not as good as the Sennheiser mic is, for sure. John uses the Rode Go Wireless, very similar to this. Yeah, I have not. That's just because my Sennheiser works so well. What happened was I saw DJI kind of pushing this out there. I was like, yeah, this looks interesting. Maybe we'll grab this and do a quick review. Oh, here's something else that's neat about this. So on here, this is a little magnet. It's really strong, actually. Wow. So this magnet, you can clip it onto, ooh, that is strong. So you could clip it somewhere. So let's clip it where they say it's the best spot. So I'll give you my overhead view here. So bear with me, folks. So I'm going to take this off of here, and then I'm going to stick it right here, kind of like where the young lady in the picture has it. She has it up on her collar. I mean, I'll stick it to my collar. So I will stick it to my collar like the picture. Does it stick through the? Nope. Oh, the magnet is strong. Keep it away from your credit card. It doesn't hang on very well, though. It's not strong enough for my collar. I think it would go through a shirt, maybe, but let's see. Let's see if I can get it to stick on. It's hurt my arm. Okay, there we go. All right, so now, yeah, the magnet is strong, but not. So I've got like a polo on, but you can see it's like moving around. So this is kind of where they want it. I don't know. I would say clipping it to the middle is probably where you want to go with it. Crab wants to know, will it last as well as the high-priced one? Yeah, that's ultimately the question, right? Is how well will it work there? And Jeff says the mic that I'm wearing seems to be shifted. Are you talking about this mic or the one that I usually wear? So the one I usually wear, it will shift because this is a super cardioid, because I have some noise down here. So I had bought this a while ago just because there was always like air handler noise and some other stuff, so it isolates better. And Julius wants to know, is it possible to connect to a GoPro Hero? Yes, but you need the you need that multimedia adapter. What do they call that thing? That adapter that you have to get for the external microphone port. So yeah, I got to tweak it a little bit. It does have a muffling sound to it, doesn't it? And what I'm looking at here, so I'm just checking to make sure it's not peaking anywhere. So this is at like its default setting, like the 0 dB there. So that seems to be okay. And then if I flip the camera thing around here, yeah, we're a little high there. So let's bring this down a little bit more. So I'm going to bring this down to like, let's try 20. So that might be why, because maybe I was peaking out on the camera. And now I'm a little bit lower here. So I'm going to bring up my vMix audio slightly. All right, so now, yeah, I'm still a little low. Let me go all the way up here. So maybe that sounds better. Let me know how that sounds. It's going to be a little lower, but I'm trying to keep the camera from peaking out on here. Maybe I'll go up a little bit higher. It does seem to isolate noise pretty well. I'll have to do some additional tests on the noise cancellation that it can do. But let me know how that sounds. Does that sound better? And David says it appears to sound better when it's not attached to me. So let me move it down lower. Yeah, I'm trying to find the sweet spot so I can be sure that I'm giving it a proper fair shake. So now I've got it down here. And I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit lower, but no, it's still getting good levels. Frank Cromer says, you can't compare it to the Sennheiser. Yeah, I think you're right. He doesn't think it sounds terrible. I mean, I think if you've got a smartphone and you're out in the field, you plug this thing in, it's going to be light years better. And so when I turn my head and my mouth, okay, so I wonder if these are cardioid. Let me look up the specs on this. So let's go look up DJI mic on the web here and see what we get. They say elevate your audio. Specs. Here are the specs. So it uses GFSK, 1 megabit per second and 2 megabits per second. It operates 2.4 gigahertz. So if you've got a lot of 2.4 going on, that includes Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, that's going to interfere. Microwave ovens will also have an impact there. Lithium polymer battery. Let's see, the receiver. Okay, so microphone directions. So it is an omnidirectional mic. The frequency response. So here's I need my audio experts here. Low cutoff on 150 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Low cutoff off, low cut off, 50 hertz to 20 kilohertz. So I wonder, is it put the low cut on by default? Let's take a look. So I got it in mono, receiver gain we looked at, settings, date and time, factory reset, transmitter gain, low cut. Low cut is on. Let me turn that off. Maybe that's why it's kind of bassy. All right, so now the low cut is off. How does it sound now? Let's see. And Heavy Glass, you know what's funny about the studio is that people either love it or hate it. There's no in between. And Red says, when I turn my head and my mouth is above the mic, it sounds great. And it's funny, it sounds like, oh, so now you're hearing the air handler, interesting. So Niall wants to know, I would say if you have microphones plugged into the transmitters, maybe. I'm not sure if this would work well there. Let me record this real quick. I want to hear how it sounds. So Frank Cromer says it sounds a little boomier. It's actually bassier with, I would imagine it would get bassier with the low cut off, right? So I'm going to record a little bit with the low cut off, and I'm going to then play this back and see what it sounds like so I can hear it. So I don't want to have audio looping back in to echo. All right, let me play this real quick. Be bassier with, I would imagine it would get bassier with the low cut off, right? So I'm going to record a little bit with the low cut off, and I'm going to then play this back and see what it sounds like so I can hear it. So now I have the low cut back on. So yeah, it seems like it does amplify the bass a bit, doesn't it? It's almost like how headphones go here. Crab Donkey wants to know, can you change the batteries? No. So the batteries are internal to the microphone. I don't believe there is a way to replace the battery. Let's see. So there will be a lifespan to these, right? Yeah, does not appear to be a way. I mean, it does have a seam, so it's possible that you could, get a spudger in there and maybe separate it to replace. I don't think the batteries are user replaceable, which is unfortunate. My Sennheiser is. And Niall says that bass heavy is fine by him. Yeah. And MX1 Can has a good comparative here on the difference between the Rode. Oh, they record internally. How about that? I was not aware of that. I probably should read the instructions then, shouldn't I? Yeah, so right now we're going through the 3.5-inch out on it. But I might, though, switch over to my iPhone in a minute and see how that fares. Yeah, dual channel recording. So I guess it must record onto this unit, maybe? Let's see. Oh yeah, transmit one, record. Look at that. So you missed it, but there is a record option right here on the transmitter. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to record actually because what I want to hear is what the transmitting unit is getting. So we're not, if the camera is doing something, we're going to hear it in that. And I guess to get the audio out of it, I'm assuming we have to plug in a USB cable because I don't think there's a SD card on this thing. Yes, eMMC that's built in. So I can store 15 hours of audio on the built-in storage. There's a mute there also. But it seems pretty quiet when I'm not talking, right? So Frank says you can run it through an EQ to kind of address some of the muffliness of it. And oh wow. So it records on the units itself. Interesting. And then I can hit that and stop it. That is very neat. Thank you for the tip on that, Gareth. And also to MX1 Can or Mexican. And it also works. Okay, so you just plug it in and you've got that. Okay, I'm going to start making some notes here, everybody. There's a lot of features on this thing I've got to look at. So it records on the transmitters and not on the receiver, if I am reading you correctly. So this is the DJI mic. And let's see, it's going to records on each transceiver as a backup. I like that. That would make sense that it would record on the transceiver, right? Because that's where the audio is coming into. All right, and we got a USB cable here that it comes with too. We can even plug it in and extract its audio later. And what I like is that it's got these little adapters for mobile phones. So I can plug it into my iPhone, which I might do in a second. Or, as we have it configured right now, we have it going through the output. So here's a question. Can it do the mobile output and this out at the same time? I would guess it could, right? It's pretty slick, I got to say. And then when you want to charge stuff, you just pop it in the case. And so now this one, if I close the case, I'm assuming, it's going to charge up this this guy, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah. I believe that's a charging indicator. Or maybe I turned it back on. I don't know. Yeah, that's a charging indicator. So it's got a nice little charging box, which keeps everything together, and it charges at the same time. Or you can charge them individually. Cool stuff. Wow, I got a lot to research on this thing to get the review testing completed. And Gareth says it also has a safety, oh, that's interesting. A safety track record of -6 dB, so that way, right, it prevents having interesting. And Photomix Media says low cut is just that. Yes, it would definitely get bassier, wouldn't it? That's right. And I guess you plug it in and it recognizes it as a flash drive. Yeah, so I think the limiting, and my thing is getting out of whack here. Let me put it back over here. So I would say the limiting feature of this is the quality of the built-in microphone. It could be better, right? But, and here's the challenge, because do I do the whole video, the review, do I do the whole review off of this, or do we switch in the middle? That's the challenge, because people are going to hear the Sennheiser at the beginning, which sounds a lot better. But yeah, you can plug a lav mic. We just did that right before you came on. So I was able to plug my lav mic, the one that I use right here, my Sennheiser. I plugged it right in. It worked fine. So that is definitely something you'll want to do if you want better quality. So maybe if they had made a version of this with just transmitters, right? I'm guessing their target market is you want an out-of-the-box experience. That's what you're going to get here, and it does seem to work pretty well. I guess the question would be what kind of noise reduction it can do in a noisy environment. And it's not a cardioid microphone, so my guess is that it's going to pick up a lot of, if you're in a noisy place, it's not going to do much better than your smartphone would do. Let's see, latency, 15 milliseconds is what they're claiming, which is pretty good, right? And you probably have some latency introduced by whatever digital means in which you're bringing the audio in. Right now we're going analog into this camera, so that helps. So it's interesting, Trent, is that my Sennheiser mic is actually directional. So the one that I have, the one that the AVX comes with is not, but this is a cardioid. So its pickup is right on the top. So you'll hear my audio shift if I move my head around sometimes in my videos. This, they're saying is omnidirectional. Video Go Live says, are these mics or something else causing... So you're saying that my video is out of sync? It's possible, although a lot of times YouTube is the culprit. So if you refresh, that sometimes fixes it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to try this outside and see how it goes. I would say that if you're in like a noisy trade show environment, you're going to need to plug in a cardioid stick mic or something to it, right? And then it gets tricky if your mic needs phantom power, right? All that kind of stuff. But I guess you could plug in, if you were to plug in an SM58, like one of those really nice cardioid vocal mics, those do not, if I recall correctly, those do not require phantom power. They might be a little low, but you've got a little amp of some kind in this thing that can boost it. So yeah, this is cool. I'm impressed. I was not sure. Honestly, I came into this totally blind, not knowing what I was getting into. But I am pleased with this. Not so crazy about the microphones, but the fact that you can plug in your own mic, and we did that already. It works fine. So that's good. And Gareth is using something called a Synco. No internal recording, but it comes with a cheap lav mic. It looks like everyone else is not out of sync. Okay, good. Yeah, this is cool. All right, I got to do a little bit more with this. So what I have to do, I got to do a range test on it. And I can't do that right now because I got to run. But I'm going to need to make a note of that. Range, I want to listen to internal recording. But it seems like they thought about a lot of the things that you would run into out there. We also want to test this with the iPhone and Android phones. And I think the target for this would be the mobile phone kind of scenario, right? So you would attach this thing to your mobile phone and go from there. But it's I have to say it's pretty well thought out. I'm impressed with it. Crab says condenser mics need phantom power, right? And then the SM58 that is not a condenser, is it? Let me see what kind of mic it is. It's a dynamic, yeah. The SM58 is a dynamic mic, so that would work, right? All right, Julie Bulligan says it sounds fine. So Ken says, can I do a quick recap? Sure, I'll do a quick recap and then I got to go. So what this is a microphone system from DJI, the same people that make the drones. And what it consists of is a receiving unit here that I have on top of my camcorder. And then it has two transmitters. So if you're out doing your YouTube video with a buddy, your buddy can get one and you get one. And there's a microphone built into the transmitter, but it also has an audio input so you could plug your own mic in. We tested my Sennheiser mic with it. It sounds great on it. And then these connect wirelessly back to the receiving unit. And so you can have the receiving unit plugged into a camera like I have right now, or you can use one of these little adapters and plug it into a mobile phone. So it's got an adapter for iPhone and an adapter for USB-C equipped Android phones. And I haven't even looked at the app yet. There's apparently an app that goes with this. Additionally, there is a recording feature on each transmitter. So you can record local to the transmitter so you have a backup in case your field work goes down. The one issue you're going to run into with this is that it's 2.4 gigahertz. So if you are in an area with a lot of microwave ovens or a lot of other wireless transmitters at that frequency, you're going to hit some interference. So like trade shows and that kind of thing might be iffy. But if you have the recording function, you can always sync audio up later. And then it's got this charging thing. So this is like a little AirPod style charging box. So this stores all the pieces, and then it will charge the receiver and the transmitters. And I do not believe they support plug-in power. And Julius wants to know how much. This is, I think, $329 on Amazon right now. I got a link in the video description. So it is a little on the pricey side, maybe, but you know what? For what it is, it's not bad. Sennheiser makes a lower-end product to what I use that's similar to this. I don't know how it sounds compared to this. I mean, maybe I'll try to get that in and do a comparative. But but it's pretty cool. I got no complaints. I think it's very, and the industrial design is excellent. And then you've got all these controls on the thing here, so I can hit record. So it just vibrated when I hit the record button. So you can record, you set recording on the camera, but it's recording on the transmitter itself. And it's got like a little touch display. Oh, so Mexican says that you can power a video mic with these. Interesting. All right. Well, I've got a little bit more research to do on this, but I think it's pretty cool. And it's good to see Trent in here. Trent has been my Sherpa, if you will. Is that the right word? For my journey into amateur radio. So I made my first contact this morning on a repeater. Actually, it was funny. I reached somebody who was a good amount of weight away from me. I have a radio that does, I think at the frequency I was at, it does 7 watts of transmit power. I hit a repeater about 20 miles away, believe it or not. And I was able to talk to a guy. And it's funny because a friend of mine who I didn't know was a ham until I looked up who was a ham around me, he had expressed an interest in doing working on contacting the space station. So the space station has radio repeaters on it, and you can communicate with people who are also in range of the space station. And because it's above everybody, you can actually get a lot further on some of these upper bands, which you normally wouldn't be able to do. So this guy that I happened to talk to this morning is like really into hitting satellites with FM transmissions, and so we're going to go have breakfast with the guy and pick his brain a little bit and try to figure out how to talk to him. So cool stuff. All right, so I've got to get going here because we are doing a little thing for our teachers in town this afternoon, and I want to be able to get there to help set up. Teachers have been through a lot, so we're doing a little reception to honor them today. So we're going to go get that going, and all the teachers are showing up at 4, so I got to go get ready for that. And yeah, that's what we're doing. So everybody, I am going to depart now, but thank you for helping me begin my troubleshooting. Got a little bit more to do with this, but I will be playing around with this a little bit more, and I'm also going to be eager to hear the recording that I made on this also to see how it differs from what I'm hearing through the camera here. Because I'm trying to, the challenge you run into with audio is that you have levels on this, you have levels on this, and then you have levels, in this case, on my streaming system. So there's all these layers to it. So that's the challenge, but we will figure it out. All right, I am going to depart, and I will see you all on the next video. Yeah, I didn't win the contest to go to space, but I will get my voice up there. So there we go. All right. And I will catch you all on the flip side, and have a good afternoon, and set your notifications. Follow me on Amazon, and I will be streaming again in the near future. Have a good one. Bye-bye.